Okay. Hi, how are you doing?
Okay, thanks.
Good. Hey, we're doing some interviewing of people that live in Milwaukee for the 2023 120th anniversary of Milwaukee. And we'd like to ask you some questions.
Great.
Can you give us your name?
Siri Bernard.
And how
My maiden name is Janice Siri.
Janice Siri. And how long have you lived here in Milwaukee?
All my life, except for I lived away all over the United States for 20 years.
Really? So did you go to the local schools?
Yes, I did. I went to St. John the Baptist in LaSalle.
What year did you graduate?
LaSalle?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I got 2 GEDs elsewhere.
Nice. And what section of town do you live in now?
I live in historic Milwaukee.
In downtown area?
Yes, about a half a block from Milwaukee High School.
Oh, nice. So you were born here?
I was actually born in Los Angeles for some reason.
Okay.
But yes, everybody in my family was born here.
Okay.
My mom, my dad, and all 5 brothers.
So how many generations have been here in Milwaukee?
Well, my grandparents came from Italy.
Okay.
And they came here to farm.
About what year was that?
That would have been, well, they first farmed over where the airport is now. And when they were building the airport, they moved here. That would have been about 1920 something. I'm sorry, I think
Okay.
mid-20s.
Okay.
Mid-1920s, but they lived over at the airport first.
And what area of town was their farm in?
Their farm was on Webster and right about where the 224 is now.
Okay, so they're where the old Clackamas High School is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Well,
And then when my uncle, when he got married, him and his wife bought another farm on Lake Road. And that would have been in Milwaukee proper.
cool. So, what are some of the things that you remember as a child living here in Milwaukee? What are some of the fun things there were to do?
Everything was fun. I mean, yeah, it was a time when you had breakfast and then you were supposed to be back by dark. So just about everything was fun. I lived on Johnson Creek Boulevard in Wichita, and we would walk from there down to the pool where Waldorf is now, and back sometimes a couple of times a day. And our parents didn't know where we were.
Fun.
Yeah.
So, when you were young like that, was the trolley still going up and down there?
No, but I remember the trolley,
Okay.
and I would take it with my older brothers to Oaks Park. Because at that time, my parents, their first home was on 29th between Harrison and Monroe. That was their first home they bought for $4,500.
Wow.
It's still there.
Okay.
I'm guessing you couldn't get it for $4,500.
Probably not. You can maybe get the front door.
Maybe.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 5 brothers.
Okay. And are they still in the Milwaukee area?
Yes, except one passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He is still in the Milwaukee area.
Yeah. There you go. And what would you say you like best about having spent your whole life basically in a kind of a small town?
The best thing is that I feel like I belong. Like if I want something done, I can go to City Hall and I can do something about it. If I have a question, I can give somebody a call or stop by and get the answer. It's easy to live within the small city bounds to me.
Tell me a store that's no longer here in Milwaukee that you wish was still around.
Oh gosh. Certainly Albertsons. Excuse me. Oh man. I'm sorry, I can't think of any right now.
Okay. All right. Well, would you like to wish Milwaukee a happy 120th birthday?
Yes, I was around for your 100th birthday, and I'm happy to be around for your 120th. Happy birthday, Milwaukee.
Now here, hold on before you cut that off. Tell us a little bit more about the swimming pool. So the swimming pool was taken away, was when Wardoff kind of were acting.
Oh, don't get me started on the North Clackamas School
About
District.
2010 or something. But so tell us a little bit about your experiences going down to the swimming pool and what that was all.
Oh, okay. Well, the swimming pool at at that time it was Milwaukie Junior High, which is a public school, and the swimming pool is actually the water's from the spring, so it was not filtered water or anything like that. It was direct from the spring, so it was cold. But kids don't care about that, and. We would walk with our swimsuits and an old towel, walk up here and pay, I think it was like 10 cents to get in. And you'd go into the Milwaukie Junior High, and the basement was all of their gym stuff and place you can put your towels and whatever, your clothes and stuff.
A locker room.
Yeah, a locker room, basically. It was old even then. And so then you'd go, and there'd always be only one lifeguard for all those kids, which was amazing. So, we'd go, we'd flirt with the lifeguard and put our put our legs in and dip in. And there were so many kids, sometimes that water was green. It was like that, but just a lot of fun. All your friends were there and all kinds of kids, and so you'd go there for a while and then go into the locker. And it's too bad when Waldorf wanted to buy that school, they told North Clackamas School District that they would for sure keep the swimming pool, but day one they filled it in. It had some problems, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Like it was natural spring.
I can't say I blame them, but they should have told the truth in the first place. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sure it costs a lot to repair it as well. So I'm going to ask you, because this is unique history that we don't really actually get. So your last name is Bernard. Your ex-husband was Jim Bernard, who was our.
He still is. Yes, he was.
He's still alive.
He was our mayor for 4 years, 6 years.
8 years, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe he did quit it as.
Yeah, maybe 6, and then he became our county commissioner, thanks to me.
Could you tell us what it was like to be the first lady of Milwaukie?
Oh, sure. First of all, a lot of fun because you get invited to everything, and you meet a lot of great people. I'm serious. Milwaukie has a lot of really nice, great people here, and getting to know them and having your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the city, from everything from car accidents to a new ordinance coming up. You learn all of that stuff. And then I like to cook, so I was able to give a lot of parties and and get involved. And then there's the times like every year there's a party, for instance, Democrats or Republicans, and somewhere in Oregon, and you meet, and that's fun. And then there's one for the Oregon Mayors Association, and all those things are, going there is so much fun. And then I even loved stumping, going around and, trying to get votes. So I liked everything about it.
You did not mention how much you liked riding in the car during the parades.
I did. One time I got in trouble when I think it was my 18th birthday, and long story short, I got a ticket for holding a parade without a license. And I just always loved parades.
Is there such a thing?
So could you tell us a little bit about Milwaukee Days and the parade and what kind of went on.
Oh, sure, yeah. Milwaukie Festival Days first started, I think, in 1946 or 47. And as a way of getting people downtown to shop at the stores. So it was more downtown business funded. And then when whoever it was that decided to get rid of the businesses and make it a professional mall, kind of got away from that. We didn't have it for a while. And then Dave Libby started it up again in the 80s. I think the late 80s. And I got involved in it maybe 93, 94. And for the first few years, I ran the parade. Jim and I ran the parade. Which there was, at that time, there was probably sometimes 120 different people in the parade, different groups in the parade. It was long, and it was, it took a lot to get established and get it all going together, and people loved it. Sometimes there were a lot more people in the parade than watching, but that's not the point. It was, everybody was there. We were all Milwaukeeans, and it was just a great piece of pride.
Where did the parade start and where did it end?
Oh, it started at Rouse School and it ended at Pietro's Pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, and one time I tried to do it the other way and learned that that's actually a pretty big hill between Pietro's and Row. So yeah, that was not a good one. So, and then I took over from Dave Libby. I took over the whole thing, and my daughter took over the parade. And she's very much, kind of like an engineer. Has it all down, and everybody's in their place. And she was excellent at it, and everybody loved it. And we also had the fireman's muster during the festival days at that time. But we didn't offer them to continue coming because they were self-contained. They didn't spend any money in Milwaukie. We spent a lot of money getting there. They went on the Milwaukie football field is where they all stayed in their tents and their RVs. So we stopped asking them, and then I changed it over to Milwaukie Festival Days Cherry Festival because of the Bing cherry being propagated here in Milwaukie. But turns out that the cherries aren't really ready when the festival was going. We needed another couple of weeks. And then what happened? Oh, they started a lot of construction and they just ended Milwaukie Festival Days.
Yeah, you couldn't do the parade route anymore.
They couldn't do the parade, yeah. But they do the umbrella parade. It's only 3-4 blocks long, but
Better than nothing.
Oh, sorry.
everybody likes that.
When you were doing the parade, was 224 in place, or did you have to cross 224, right?
Oh, no. We just kept it. As I said, it started at Row, came down Lake Road, down Main Street to Pietro's Pizza.
Got it.
That was it. Or back the other way. But with 120 entrants in the parade, there was not really a lot of options of where we could start them.
Sure.
Yes, and then when you're involved in politics, you end up going to all the parades around. So you get a good idea of how they're run. So if you need a parade, go ahead and ask me.
So one of the traditions of the mayoral car in the parade and other vehicles that are convertibles is throwing candy at the kids.
Oh, everybody, yeah. I don't know when that started, but it was already going strong when I got involved in
Do you have a
93.
funny story about hitting a kid and making him cry, or hitting a kid and making him happy, or anything like that, or did you just kind of blindly toss it out?
Actually, we gave a little talk at the beginning about throwing it down on the ground, and make it far, because sometimes kids will come right up to the tire as you're moving. So, yeah, but you can't go without the candy.
Right?
It was expected, and people would even bring bags.
So now I know that your ex-husband was really involved in starting Celebrate Milwaukie Inc., which runs our farmers market. Were you involved with that process at all?
Well, yes, but to begin with, it was the Milwaukee Business Association.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually Brad Olson and Jim Bernard, and we had Jack Elder was the director of the Downtown Milwaukee Association, and that got involved too. And I was involved as much as just, helping whatever issue was coming up and visiting businesses, which I'm a ham. I love to do that kind of stuff. So, but when Jack left, they turned it into Milwaukee. What was Celebrate Milwaukee Inc. And I think that was just after the 100-year celebration. Yeah, and after they started the farmers market, because the first 2 years of the farmers market was David Ashenbrenner, Jack Elder, and Jim Bernard. It was just the three of them and maybe 6-8 booths for 2 years, and they just kept it up, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's my story about if at first you don't succeed, try again.
So I have a question about, you're talking about we going down to the swimming area, the swimming pool. Was we your friends, your family?
Yeah, me and my cousin Becky Bauer and my friend Debbie Wolf.
And where do you fit in your family with the 5 brothers?
Oh, I have 2 brothers, and then it's 8 years, and then me, and then 4 years, and then Philip, Chris, and Jeff.
All right.
So I was the only one that grew up with everybody there.
Oh, nice.
Was it? No, all my childhood.
Yes, them.
I got my own room, and I really kind of spoiled and getting beaten up every day. Sort of a blend of that. Probably like most kids.
Yeah.
Well, is that why you guys moved to a larger area from 29th and Washington up to?
Why my parents did, yeah. Oh yeah, we had an acre and we were on Johnson Creek. I mean, it was a lovely place to grow up. Mm-hmm. It was, and all I remember was laughing and giggling, so it wasn't bad. But should somebody else be talking?
Well, I think we're trying to capture.
Yeah.
You got a lot here, that.
I do have a lot.
Layers. So let's ask. You talked about your political life a little bit. So, what do you think one of the greatest accomplishments you have done is for the city of Milwaukee?
Oh wow, let me think about that. I'd like to think it's the Milwaukie, now called the Milwaukee Community Center. Excuse me. I tried to do a lot there, and I still do. I was on the board for many years. I got off just because I was sick for the last couple of years.
Could you tell us a little bit more? What is the Milwaukee
Okay.
Community Center?
The Milwaukee Senior Center started in 1983, 7, somewhere. Mid-1980s by Sarah Greenheit. And so it was a senior center owned by the city of Milwaukee. The park is owned by the city of Milwaukee, and the building that she was able to raise funds and get the building built is city of Milwaukee. And it was strictly that, and a lot of things, they worked programs, they did so much to get it going. And that's when I came in, was to volunteer my time, serving meals, doing whatever needs to be done. And then the city leased it out something to North Clackamas Parks and Rec. And they changed the name to Milwaukee Center because they don't have anybody in the entire Parks and Rec that knows anything about seniors. So they don't know what to do with it. And they're a little bit uncomfortable. So anyway, we just went on and just kind of did our thing, and then Parks and Rec got more and more involved. To now, they hire all the people, they do everything, and the city of Milwaukee doesn't even pay any attention to what's going on there. I think they feel like they hired these people, and so they need to take care of it. I guess that's what they feel. I hope they didn't sell it. It's hard to say.
I don't think they sold it.
No. City of Milwaukee has sold way too many things. I heard that they don't even own the city hall, the old city hall. That's owned by the school district.
No. We'll talk about that off camera.
Okay.
So what do you think is the biggest change? Did you ask this question? What do you think the biggest changes that you've seen in Milwaukee since the time that you were young enough to remember to where it is today?
Right, yeah. Well, I think it's the same changes that are going on throughout the American society, and that's, people aren't gathering together as much. They aren't caring about their neighbors and their, that kind of thing as much. There's so many people here now that have no connection to Milwaukee and don't care to. Their world is bigger, and I would say putting all of these apartments is going to be huge once they're getting built. I think that's going to be the biggest change in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm sure having the city council, whenever that was, change it from downtown businesses as stores to a professional mall. When the town center opened, they thought there was not going to be anybody coming downtown. So they changed it to a professional mall. That was really stupid, but I shouldn't say stupid. That was really a change in Milwaukee.
Opening it up to office space, when you say professional mall, opening it up to office space instead of just retail.
Exactly, or retail and office space. They encourage dentists and, as I say, professional mall, dentists and lawyers and that kind of thing.
Comic book company.
Actually, no. That what happened is when they did that and everybody moved out, all the stores moved out, they found out that not that many people, professionals, really wanted to be downtown Milwaukee. So they had all these empty buildings at a time when Mike Richardson needed some office space, so he got some really good deals. So that's what happened there. And they say that it kind of saved Milwaukee doing that because he brought people down again. That's it, professional buildings, they're not going to bring people in. So anyway, you get one at a time, and they're going to go to their lawyer and then go home or go somewhere. They're not going to stand around, let's see what's in this store. The farmer's market, once it got going, brought a lot of people downtown, and I think that opened up a few stores too. You gotta have stores.
Yeah.
So that's a huge change. Other than that, well, certainly the Max brought change, but not really that much, really, as far as how people are behaving. People are saying, oh yeah, it brought all these awful people, but I don't see that, and I live a block away. To me, it's just not that big of a change for her. And we had the trolley hill before, so nothing's different there. That's, of course, having everything online now is the biggest change. So that's all I can think of.
Anything else?
Okay. Gosh, that was fun. Thank